Welcome back, you guys. We are going to see if we can bring up more of this higher self distortion that started coming up at the end of yesterday's reading. I was in my space this morning doing some work, and yeah, I want to best support you guys and best serve you guys. And just at the end of that, when we started exposing it, I can't not go deeper for you guys. So hopefully we can get a little bit more of that story and shift some more of that energy, because this feels very connected to the eclipse season as well, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. I also just feel like it not just for like this next month, but that this is connected to your soul's journey for months to come, maybe even years. Let's start with a couple of these cards first. You know, before we jump into this too, this story, this theme, I've been seeing this quite a bit lately with higher self distortion. It's a big theme, and just please know you are not even close to being like the only group of people going through this. I've cleared quite a few different distorted higher selves. Some of them are rooted in ego. I've found for me, like I clear a lot of AI out of my field. AI is the consciousness group. So I've cleared two higher selves so far that were rooted in AI. And we're connected to, like, if you guys have ever heard of Bashar, similar consciousness to that. So yeah, just being a little bit realer with you guys, just so you guys don't feel like you're the only one going through this, because you're definitely not. But the more we choose to, work through things like this, the more open that we can become to new paths. And I feel like you guys are at like a fork in the road. You can stay on the path that you've been on and continue to be guided by the intelligence that you've been guided by, which, to be clear, it does feel like it's a higher self that's like more ascended than your human in this timeline right now. But I feel like there's this other path that feels completely brand new, completely more like raw and unknown. But I feel like you guys are being guided to make a decision, and it doesn't have to be a quick decision. It feels like, again, playing off that theme that came through yesterday, you're being asked to slow down and discern really what feels right to you. And too, oh, what was I just about to say? Yeah, so whenever you're like making a decision intuitively or communicating with higher self, and there's like a lot of charged emotions within your decision, you might not even be connected to intuition or higher self at all. But there are some situations too where those emotions are very necessary, and you're meant to make those decisions in certain moments based upon those emotions that you feel. However, I feel like it's more rare than not to constantly move through your life intuitively, but also acting off of emotion. It's more normal to have those just like certain rare scenarios where it's like, oh my gosh, this just came out of me, but like it needed to come out. In other situations, it's more, there's a different consciousness that's trying to come through. So, you heal by releasing, not suppressing. What emotions do you need to feel? Maybe for some of you guys, it's anger. I feel like a deep, suppressed anger that has been sort of felt, but like it's still there. Maybe sadness, but I pick up on more of like that anger energy. And then we have, it's all in divine order, allow. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? I freaking love this, because it's like we're easing into understanding what's going on, but like with the foundation of self-acceptance and trust in God and faith that exploring this is safe, and that maybe in many ways you're meant to explore this. You are very much meant to explore it, because the next card that we have is Midas Touch. Things are working out in your favor. In what ways are you abundant right now? kind of bringing us back to like a very quick full circle moment of, okay, let's illuminate some of the work through it, but also remind ourselves of how supported we are and how okay we are in the moment as is. Like, start with the love first. Okay. I pick up on too that some of you guys can feel this consciousness present. It's like you can feel there's another way. You can feel there's a different intelligence to connect to. But this one feels deeper and like just more connected to you, at least currently. And maybe this is some of that what's connected to like the father wound that came out for some of you guys yesterday. I think some of you guys too, like just going deeper for a moment on the father wound, maybe you did receive like a lot of emotional support from your father, a lot of love. But maybe what you didn't receive was structure, insight from that masculine figure. That is just as much, that can create just as much distortion as not receiving, you know, certain emotions from father figure. So just bringing that in the forefront for some of you guys. Again, that one feels like it's more specific to maybe a smaller group of people, like 3 or 4 plus maybe. Okay. Whatever this is, it's meant to come up. It's meant to come out. Because we have justice and the 6 of Cups, both upright. And so this gives like justice, balance to what is right. Which we can take this a couple different ways. So some of you guys might... Whoa.
Hey, Andy.
The TV just turned on, I'm sorry. Okay, back to the reading. Yeah, some of you guys could be like pushing this consciousness like super, super latched to the old, and there might be like a karmic rebalancing of like, if you're meant to have that old consciousness go out, it's gonna eventually go, like move out of your system. But it might move out in a harsher way than for other of you guys, if it's like, yes, I know this consciousness is here, I'm open to resolving it, I'm open to looking at my part in it. Those of you guys are going to move through the process much quicker, because I see like an emotional gift coming into the equation as a result of it. And it feels fast. Like, it doesn't feel like it's something that you have to wait a bunch of weeks for to like see the benefit and feel the benefit from it. Then you have the Knight of Cups upright. Seven of Wands popped out, but then popped back in. I'm going to keep it in the deck, but I want to see what other card comes out next. The Moon. I feel like it's going to connect to the Moon. Definitely connected to the lunar eclipse. And there's something too about like nighttime routines wanting to come into the equation. Something that's going on at night is a part of what's like reseeding this consciousness into your space, like recreating it over and over again. Like, I can see that like you want, some of you guys like really want it to come out, even though you are in certain ways attached to it. Look at what's going on in your world at night. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? How are your thoughts? I don't know what or why exactly I'm being brought to like nighttime routines, but like there's something with nighttime that's not supporting you. And that's making this process a little bit more complicated. energetically speaking. Temperance upright. Yeah, maybe some of you guys have been overdoing it and like watching TV and just like literally, man, I'm just like getting this vision of just like somebody who's watching TV but doesn't even want to watch it. It's like they're like sucked into it. I think some of you guys too could spend a little bit more time, maybe a lot of bit more time outside. I know depending upon where you are in the winter, that can be seemingly impossible at times. But one of the things that helped me the most when I lived in Illinois, like in the Midwest during winter, and I don't love this, but like it helped me, was like this artificial like light and blue light, as well as certain supplements that I was taking. Nanosoma is a wild one that helped me so much. It's like, how bad do you want to be free? Like if you want it bad enough, you'll create the time, you'll create the space to do what's needed to like make it work for you. The Hierophant reversed on the bottom, the Lovers upright, 10 of Pentacles reversed, and which just popped out. Some of you guys are being asked to stop currently for like a period of time. Stop focusing on money so much connected to your spiritual work. There's some line that's connected to this money thing and this old consciousness and this distorted higher self. It is all connected. So maybe for some of you guys too, over the next couple weeks, maybe take a step back. And I don't mean from like being fed and like feeding yourself, but I mean taking a step back from maybe the work and like looking at it from a different angle. Maybe for some of you guys, taking a small break. And I feel that triggers some of you guys a lot when I say that, but it's not supposed to. Five of Pentacles upright. I think some of the challenge that you're experiencing right now is karmic, in the sense that it's like some of it can't be and is not going to be avoided. But again, it's like one of those things, it's like we're not doing the inner work to just change our external. We're doing the inner work because like we need the transformation, right? I think some of you guys are like doing the inner work because like you want to make a bunch of money, or because like it's the popular thing to do. I don't even feel like that's really what your soul wants. Like that's not really why your soul's doing the work. I think your soul's doing the work for very good reasons, for the right reasons. But I think there are some influences coming from other consciousnesses that are not your own, that are influencing your work in general and influencing the coding and the blueprint of what's coming out when you serve your work. So again, just to recap, it's like your soul is doing the work for the right reasons, but there might be an influence coming from other consciousness groups that your soul might be connected to that's shifting the blueprint of your work in real time, like as you're serving it. There's that Seven of Wands again. Two of Swords. Some of you guys are at war with like spiritual forces. Actually, it's Three of Wands. Upright. Oh, we're getting somewhere, guys. I mean, we're always getting somewhere, but I don't know if I just did something to your ego, or if we just did something to your ego, or you're doing something with your ego right now, but I'm seeing like walls coming down, barriers coming down around the heart, emotions being felt in a different way. My goodness, this energy is just wild. Yeah, this is a long game, guys. I know that I started doing these readings just like specifically for eclipse season in the month of March, but this is meant to take you way beyond March, way beyond March. I feel like this is a huge soul lesson that is like rearing itself to a head. And again, going back to this fork that I was seeing this visual of earlier, it's like you can stay on the path that you're on and continue to be led by this intelligence that's guiding you. Or, which I feel like in some way you've kind of recognized it's brought you to a plateau or is bringing you to one. And you're kind of looking at this other path and they're like, but it's either like you remember there's more, or like you've had experiences in the past where there's more consciousness, but like you're considering taking this other path and you don't know what's down that path. You kind of are worried that you might be brought to more like emotional heartache, but it's not. You know, the emotions I think too are what are coming up for you for right now. It's like a little bit of like, dang it, but like, I know, like you speaking to yourself, it's like literally I can feel you just taking like a big sigh, like, yeah, I knew it. I know. Like, that's how it leaves me feeling. But like, okay, but let's come back to this too, guys. Don't be too serious. Like, let's remember that like you're on a journey. We're all on journeys, and the more layers that you reveal, the more you're gonna ascend. The more you're gonna grow. The more at peace you're gonna feel with yourself. The more love you're gonna feel. The more natural that abundance frequency will become. But yeah, with these last 3 cards, it does give a little bit of you are experiencing some residual karma. And so like this, it might not all just clear out perfectly, and it's probably not gonna, but like kind of just going back to you focusing on yourself, focusing on your soul, on your soul's journey, and fully anchoring that, like stop, don't, there are all these like wires like going from the head and like looking at other people. It's like, but they're here and they're doing this and they're making this money and they have all these clients and they're doing like blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, but what about you? You have a very unique journey to tap into and to work with. So yeah, the last thing I'll say, guys, is I hope you take that other path, and yeah, I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.